Joined by manager Steve King for this week's Twitter Live. Firstly, Steve, how's this week been?
Yep, little bit different for me. I wasn't at training Tuesday. I went to watch Dorking against Oxford. With Oxford still to play. Very eventful evening. Good game as well.
Yeah, you was on commentary. How did you find that?
Yeah, it was all right. I just asked if they asked me if I could do a little bit of a guest. Just sat there giving a little bit of an input. It's good to watch Oxford because I've been really impressed with them so far this season. What they've done, the cup run, they're still in the cup, and the way they play. Yeah, so it was a good eye opener.
Yeah, let's look back quickly. We won't talk much about the Slough game because obviously we've covered it in previous interviews. But one talking point that did come out on Monday night was that Jacob Bugley-Ajapong's red card has been overturned. Correct decision, really.
Yeah, it had to be. Obviously we had the beauty of seeing the replay. You getting the replay to me before the game had even finished, which was really good. So I knew the wicket I was batting from straight away. So I knew at the time it was terrible. And obviously justice was it was put right because it wasn't even a foul. So yeah.
I mean, also a fantastic debut from Chris Dickson. Of course, we signed him on dual registration from Hornchurch. Top goal scorer in the league below. Just give us your thoughts on how Chris did.
He did okay. I think it was two very good finishes. When you look back at the second one, it's even harder because when you look at the player that's marking him is like bear hugging him. He's not even looking at the football, and he's sort of 6'2", the player that was marking him. And to get his body around and volley that in a tight angle is a harder finish than what it actually looked on the day. I just thought he was at the back post, just tapping it in. But when I've looked at the video, it's actually a better finish than what you thought. And I think his overall contribution was good. But it was like Johnny on the spot really, and scored the 2 goals.
Yeah, we'll stay on the topic of the squad. How is the squad looking, Steve, ahead of Saturday?
It's looking well. Well, where are we at now? We've just made a couple of players sent out on loan because I think it was important for them to get games. Ronny Vince had a hell of a start for us. I think he's done really, really well. We let in sort of 5 goals in 3 games, and I just felt with the quality that we got of centre halves, we needed to put someone else and give them an opportunity. Then Connor's come in and hit the ground running, has been outstanding in that position. So Ronnie's a little bit sort of moved down the pecking order a little bit, and then obviously you've got Josh Hill waiting in the wings to come in. It will be the next opportunity. Josh will be. So we felt Ronnie was, we didn't want to put 2 centre halves on the bench. We did occasionally when we didn't have the other numbers, but when we got the numbers back, I like to try and cover all positions on the bench if we can. And sort of Ronnie wasn't getting in the squad sort of last 3 games, so we just had a quick chat, and it wasn't even 10 seconds really. Do you want to go out and play games? Yep, want to. Needs to keep that fitness. Ronnie's one of those that needs to keep playing. So he's gone to Dulwich for a month. They've won on Tuesday night, so hopefully he can make a big impact there for them. And he's a good lad, and he jumped at the chance of going out and playing games, so which was brilliant. Charlie's gone out as well. Charlie's gone to Chelmsford. Again, Charlie needed to play some games. He's only started 2 games. We've got decent, really decent forwards in that as well. And Charlie found his sort of spot limited, his chances limited. So we felt there was 3 or 4 clubs that came in for him, and he chose to go to Chelmsford. So I backed that. So he's gone there for 6 weeks. We look at those 2, and then Abdul Osmond has moved on. It hasn't really worked for him here. He got injured, and then it became ill a little bit, and then he was homesick, to be fair to him. He's got a family and baby in Scotland, where he's played most of his career, and we sort of had a good chat, and we felt it was best if he could go back up to Scotland and play his football, and you'll probably see him ending up in the Championship up there or somewhere like that in January. But yeah, I wish him all the best, and that one didn't quite work out for us.
Yeah, like you said a minute ago about Charlie and Ronnie, like you did last year when people went out on loan. This isn't the end of Charlie and Ronnie by any stretch of the imagination. It's a chance to go out and get some games, and ultimately, if they do well, they've got every chance of coming back and coming back in.
Yeah, of course. That's the whole idea of loans, and Charlie went out last year and then he came back and done ever so well when he came back, and we played him in the playoffs. He started in 2 of the 3 games. So it's never done, in my opinion. It's just about going out, having the right attitude, making an impact when you go out on loan, to say, look, I'm still here and I want to play. So it's good for both of us, really.
Yeah, earlier today it was announced that by the government that the tiers and where everyone will be. Kent was put into tier 3, meaning that Dartford unfortunately won't have any fans at the moment. Just give us your thoughts on that current situation, because
I think it's hard to put the whole of Kent in that, when there's some areas that have got next to nothing and there's areas that have got loads. So I think they needed to break that up a little bit. Sort of Welling down the road can have fans. They come under the sort of London borough of Bexley, if you like to call it that. So it's different. So they can have fans, but we can't have fans. And I think to put Kent, the whole of Kent, in is obviously, they have to start somewhere, I suppose. And I think within 2 weeks, I think we will get that changed. I think that will change. I think the rate will go down in certain areas, and hopefully we can slip into tier 2. If we get into tier 2, we can have up to 2,000 fans, or 50% of your stadium capacity, which is 2,000 fans. So, yeah, disappointed, really disappointed for the fans. They're missing out. There's still a lot of unknown questions and answers to what goes on with that. We go to Eastbourne next week, Saturday. It's you can have fans there. Again, 50% of their stadium there, 4,500, so they could have 2,000 plus in there. Can we travel there? Are you allowed to travel outside the area to go to the match? I don't know.
Yeah.
What if fans live in level 2, somewhere around level 2? Can they travel to the game? It's all this stuff that we don't know. So for me, it's up in the air. I suppose it's a starting point. They had to start somewhere in the country, and this is what it is. So I do see a lot changing in 2 weeks' time all over the country. Hopefully the spike goes down. It allows us to get some fans in our next home game, which is 2 weeks' time. So, yeah, we can't wait for the fans, honestly. Everyone says it, all the managers, we all talk and say, you're getting up, it's hard to motivate them, and then all you're hearing more and more is managers. Yeah. Me, louder, other managers, louder. So, we want to get drowned out a little bit by the noise of the fans.
Yeah, so. Certainly not my voice.
For me, we can't wait for the fans to come back.
Yeah, and I mean, just touching on that point, Steve, obviously, throughout the next month or so, and maybe even longer, if the rate still stays the same and we stay in tier 3, we're going to be travelling to places and clubs that are in tier 2 that can have fans. Do you think that's going to be an advantage, where we're travelling to places that can have fans, and then we're coming back here and we don't have our own supporters? Yeah,
definitely. That's a definite advantage. When we all saying it's an even playing field now, because there's no fans in the ground. Yeah. So it's 11v11 on the day of, +5. So that's what it is on the day. So with fans, if we go to Eastbourne next week and they've got 1,000 fans in there, it's 100% going to benefit them, because it's all their fans in the house, same as if they come here. So that's an advantage for every single team you play. So if you seem to be in tier 3, we're hoping it can change in 2 weeks' time. What if it's not? What if it's 4 weeks' time, and we've gone and played another 6 games with no fans? So I don't know quite how you can work it, because that's actually then playing a game with no advantage. Only the team that get advantage is the home team. Yeah. So that's a difficult one. So I don't know where they're going to go with this. But it's 100%. It's an advantage if you've got a load of fans in there. Yeah.
On Saturday, we travel to Hungerford. Of course, they've had a really good start to the season. What sort of test are they going to pose?
Really tough. Really, really tough. They've started amazingly. When you consider where Hungerford have been the last few years, and they stayed up by no one going down this year. The season just gone, and they've always been in that sort of bottom 3 or 4 or 5. They've done amazing start. New manager, come from a lower level as well. Put a good side together. Sort of what I've seen a lot of their games and spoke to different people, etc. And the front two set the pattern, set the tone for them. Two very, very good strikers, and then they're backed up by a hard-working side with some quality in there. So we're under no illusions. It's a tough game. They just lost to Ebbsfleet 3-2, beat Dorking 2-0, beat Slough, gone to St Albans, drawn with St Albans. So they've got plenty of character, plenty of quality in their team. Otherwise they wouldn't be where they are. They're not there after 9-10 games by fluke. They're there because they've had a fantastic start.
Focusing on us though, obviously the result on Saturday meant that we haven't lost back-to-back yet this season. I mean, is that so important in your side? Is that if we lose a game, you want us to respond so quickly straight after?
Yeah, I think it's been since I've been here. If I'm honest, we've in maybe I don't know. We were trying to work the games out earlier. Maybe 40, 50 games we've been here now. I suppose something like that, and we've never lost back-to-back.
Yeah.
So that's in my estimation that's what you need to do. To lose a couple, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen this year? Of course, it's going to happen this year as well. But if you can just break the mould of that one defeat, get a draw or get a win, if you can. For me, that's always a sign of we want to get back on the horse as quick as possible. But if you get back-to-back defeats, you need to go again. That's what I always say.
Yeah. Finally, 11 games so far in all competitions. What's your thoughts on the season so far?
In the league, we've had a fantastic start. I think the thing about this side that you find that we've lost a couple, but we've won the rest. So touch wood, we very rarely draw. It's always a win or a loss, but predominantly we've won a lot of games. We've only lost a couple, and like I say, we always talk about those two that we shouldn't have lost anyway. But still, that's another story.
Yeah.
But we've always done that, so we've never been sort of a draw, win, draw, loot. It's sort of win, lost, win, lost. So for me, we've had a great start to the season, but I always say there's three sides to a season. Always start, middle, and end is where you end up. Is important, but it's nice to get off to a good start. Finally,
ahead of Saturday, what are you hoping to see from our boys?
Just to continue the form that we're on. It's, like I said, it's a tough game. It's no disgrace to go to Hungerford and we're talking at Hungerford, getting a draw the way they've started. They could go above us if they beat us, I think, and goal difference maybe. I might be right. So it's not a disgrace to go to Hungerford now, the team they built and the way they've started, and get a draw. But obviously we attack every game. We try and get 3 points if we can. Always attack games, and like I said, even the games that we've lost, we attack those games and missed a lot of chances. So we will be going there to try and win the game, obviously, but like I said, it's not a disgrace to get a draw there.
Perfect. All the best on Saturday, Steve.
Yeah, also I'd like to say, James,
cool.
I know it's your last game on Saturday, and
Yep.
It's been brilliant working with you, and
cheers, mate.
I hope that things go fine for you and you're back amongst us very soon.
Appreciate that, Steve. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Cheers, mate.